Alright guys, sorry I didn't get a chance to make a video on me pulling all this stuff apart here. But I did show, I don't know if I showed a video before in the past when this was on a trailer, but one of the front hubs here you could take and you could just wobble this piece here. You could just take the tire and you could just walk it back and forth and it would just wobble like this and the bearings was out of it. So gotta fix that there. This is a 1840 K skid steer. This is a 1997 model, I believe, 97 or 96 model. So I got that all apart there. There's the shaft there. I got to pull that shaft apart. And once I get all the, I got to cut the races off of it, get them done. This piece here has got to be, all this has to be ground down. Some of the studs you can see they broke off, so I'm gonna have to knock the studs out because I got brand new ones to go in it. And then here's the here's a big rubber seal here. I got that seal as well, and that just keeps it from leaking in there. So we're gonna go ahead and if I ain't mistaken, the way that I think that this should be done, and I think is what we'll have to do is get this shaft, slide the shaft up through there, stick all the bearings on there, and then when I go to put that in there, the shaft and all it needs to be slid in there. So what I do is I just slide up in there, and the gear inside there, just we'll set the gear right up inside there. But there's a pretty good amount of rust in there, rusty water, I should say. Some water got down inside there, which that's happened in the past many a times. So I'm gonna get these studs here knocked out. This is a piece here they sent me. That's a little spacer that goes in there as well. And he also sent me like a little parts, like a PDF file of it as well. So and I got all the parts back here, all the studs, everything's in here. Like I said, I usually don't like working on a Sunday, but some days you just got to. So here's a bunch of little roller bearings. These are all the studs here, and the bearings itself are over here inside this box. And that's what's inside here. Got everything here. This comes in a kit. At first, when he went up there, I gave him the serial number, and he looked up all the parts. He said, "Yeah, I had to order this, and he said it'd be in on Wednesday." So I went for a Wednesday to look at it, and I said, "Well, hell," I said, "this don't really look like what I need." I said, "I need something else." And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" So I gave him the thing again. We had to look at another page in the manual there, and sure enough, he ordered parts for 1845, and this is 1840, and they're different. Here, like I said, here's just they'll give you the good thing they give you a little diagram here, show you exactly what to do. But what we're going to do on this one here is all the seals here. We're going to put all this together. All this goes together, but we're going to slide inside just like this. So I'm saying, see how they got this right here, and this is what we're going to wind up doing. We're going to put this inside there, and then we'll put the gear on there, and it'll all be together. You're not trying, because you can't really put it together any other way, because you got to knock the grease seals in there, and you can't put the grease seals on there unless you have the shaft in there. So we'll get the shaft over here and get the races cut out of it. See if we can get these studs here to knock out. So we got all them studs are out now, and I'll take a magnet and stick a magnet down inside there. That way I can see exactly where they go. And I'm sure this goes in there somewhere. Oh, this goes in there for where the studs go. So yeah, we just gotta make sure we put that back in there. That goes like on the back plate back here. And there's the nut that holds that stuff there on. And yeah, here's all the broken studs here. So we'll get all this here cleaned up. Now I'm gonna take a grinder, grind this here down, and I'm gonna grind all this here down and get the shaft over there so I can get it ready to put down inside there. Hey guys, I had to take a phone call. I swear that gear oil is like the worst smell. Especially this shit here, because it's been sitting in there so long. We'll do some filing on that there. Both of them off now. Always wear safety glasses when I'm messing with this shit, because one time I was working and I had no safety glasses on, which the safety glasses may help, may not help, but I was hitting a chisel, and the fucking chisel come up and hit me right above the eye there and cut me, and I had to have stitches in there. I didn't really think it was that big a deal, but the boss, he was like, "No," he's like, "You better go get checked out." He said, "That image looks pretty deep," and sure enough, it was definitely deep. Just clean this the rest of the way off. Okay, so I got that cleaned off. I know that we're definitely gonna have to do a little bit of grinding work to smooth some of this down, because the bearing's been sitting off there for so long that that it kind of dug into some of it there just a little bit, not much. So we'll make sure it's all cleaned off real good. There's another stud there, so I had no, still one stud. Still one stud left there. My boy, I had him in with a magnet, and he was getting all the studs out of there. So here's all the stuff here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna find this other stud in there. Once I find the other stud, I'm gonna take and I gotta grind all that surface area down, get it real nice and smooth, and we can start putting all the stuff on this and start getting that back there squared away, so we can get that thing put together. Shouldn't be too terrible. Shouldn't be too much more terrible of a job. Here's, like I said, another race. I do is I just cut them. I take a little grinder and I cut them, and it breaks them in half in the middle, and they just them races, they just come right off there. So I'm gonna switch my grinder out, get this ground off, and see if we can put together. Both races, got both races cut out there. I'm gonna show y'all. See if I can get this set up here for y'all. Gonna put these other races in here now. Like I said, that other one went in there pretty good. Let's see if I can get this one to go in there just as good as the last one did. There you go. When you hear that bottom out, that's how you know you got it in there just right. So we got them in there now. Well, I ain't had a chance to clean these up yet, but like I said, this is just a big O-ring, is what this here is. Take my knife here. Hopefully I can take my knife. Take my knife here, scoop it on out. Just like that. There's, like, so just a big O-ring's all it really is. So got that. And I got the other races cut off the shaft over there. Got them done. What I had to do on these here is because it's so hard to get in there. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass to get them broke out. I just take a torch and kind of make that indention in them. As long as you're careful, the steel, it'll follow itself and it won't cut into the housing. So I just do it like that there, and it's something, because these images were so seized in there I couldn't get them out. And sometimes you just gotta do what you have to do, and I had to cut the other pieces off the other bearings too. So that's probably gonna be the hard part, I should say. I can't really say the hard part, but that's gonna be mainly where if I did have a press, it would really work out great. Is because if I had a press, I done got this piece here knocked out. I got a piece that goes into, there's a little bearing that goes in that piece, and there wasn't nothing left of that. But yeah, you just want to make sure 100% you get these bearings in there the right way, because once you get them on there, they ain't coming back off. And but you got to put the find it here. Oh, right here on top of this. Damn, my boy laid that up. I hope he didn't mess that up. Nah, I think it looks good. These two seals here, they're going to go in there first and last. So I don't really know of any. I don't really. I mean, I don't really know of any other way that they could go on there, in all honesty. Because once you put the shaft, once you get the shaft put on there, you got to put the bearing on. I mean, I guess that could. trying to think. I'm almost certain. I had to guess. I guess I will be able to do it like that. So, and I think I take my little grinder and I gotta smooth these down from where it was rubbing really bad. So let me smooth them there down. We'll get to putting this piece together. As long as you can still spin it, you'll be fine. Like I said, just keep working it around there. Once you get around there, like I said, it's just tight right here because that's where the bearing is supposed to stay at. So once you get it down here, my goodness, exactly what I was thinking about. I forgot to put this fucking seal on there. Now the seal is not going to go around the thing here, so I'm not going to pop this. I'm going to take that back off, put the seal on there. Oh man, that sucks. New race is in there, and I got the new seal in. Sorry I didn't get a chance to show y'all that there. I'm just trying to get this done as fast as I can. So I got that there done, and now we're gonna put it on the back. Put the backside piece on there. We'll get that once we get the other piece in there. Here's another bearing, and we'll have to pump a lot of grease before it's all said and done. We'll have to pump a lot of grease in there just to get it in there where it needs to go at. Some hand shear off. Let's see if I can get y'all right a little bit better. Oh, the light ain't the grease back here in this part of the shop. But just like cutting up here, just kind of tap it right here on the thing here. You'll know pretty much when it's in there where it needs to go. It'll be nice and flat, and you won't have no back and forth. If I can get set up here, as long as you don't have no back and forth movement, like when you try to pull on this here, as long as you don't have no front and back movement, you're good to go on that. But sorry, what I did was I put the bearing in there, and then I put the seal in there, and then once I put the seal in there, I just laid this on something flat and just kept pounding it till it got all the way flushed with where it needed to be at. And then just take your grease seal here, or your grease seal there, hose the grease in there, just take out there. And what I like to use is I just like to use one of these little brass hammers here. As long as it's nice and flat there, you ain't gonna have nothing to worry about. So that's all in there good now. So that part there will be done. We'll put that other seal. We got to put that on there as well, and clean some of the junk out of there. Because like I said, we still got to put a bunch of oil in there anyways. This is just a spacer that goes in there. I'm almost certain the spacer goes in here just like this. And that's what holds that. That's what kind of keeps that in there on that shaft and keeps that from rolling out of there. So yeah, let me get the other parts out of there. Go ahead and get the studs over there so we can get them put in there real quick, and hopefully we can get this thing here wrapped up. Okay guys, I'm gonna try to show you here. Down here at the bottom, down here's where these studs go in. Down on the very bottom, there's like a flat piece of steel, and that's what goes on the bottom side. And as far as all the other ones here, you just put the studs back. Just put the studs back in there as usual. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. It's kind of dark down in here and ain't getting much damn light. These will just go back in here just like this. And there'll be more. And then once you get them all in there, what I like to do is go back on the outside and take the nut, or take the nut and put the nut on there, and that way you can suck the threads all the way up in there. And then we got another one over here. Just so they're sticking out. Sticking out just like this. And you can go ahead and, like I said, just run all the nuts up on it, and then you ain't got to worry about it. The studs trying to push out when you're trying to put them on there. Alright guys, let's see if we can get these studs in there. Hopefully they'll tighten all the way up. Hopefully anyways. Try to get this thing to sit right here so we can get them, get it where it needs to be at. Like I said, once you know you get them all the way in there, you should be just fine. Right down here ain't biting for some reason. I think it'll be just fine once we get it in there. That one there's staying. And over it just could be walled out from rust and all that stuff there. Now I gotta get this O-ring. Put that O-ring on there. Y'all wondering why the camera's moving around a lot. My son here, he wants to be the cameraman today. Hopefully this will go in there and stay. Sometimes they're kind of a pain to get where they need to stay. Because it's been wrapped up, I probably should have laid it down flat and smashed it with something. Like I said, it might still try to pop off there. Just go ahead and get this here lined up. Get it kind of close to where it needs to be at, so when you push that in there, you're not having to worry about it not being exactly where it needs to go at. And like I said, there'll be a bunch of stuff. See, like this is everything that was in there from that old seal. We're going to make sure we get all that cleaned out as well. But we'll go back here on the outside here, and we'll go ahead and get this piece here put in there. As you can see, kind of how I got it right there, I'll push it up there where it needs to go at, and then I'll kind of just wiggle it into its place there, and it won't be going nowhere after that. Hopefully this O-ring will stay where it needs to go once I get it moved out of the way here. Just kind of get was saying. The that's what I was saying about this damn O-ring here. It fell off. And I think it fell off again. Just have to work with it a little bit. Kind of get it to where it needs to be in there. There it goes. Do something different. Glue the fucking O-ring in or what? They don't want to stay. So we'll figure that out real quick. Like I was saying, get this here. Close to where it needs to be at. It'll probably just keep rolling back and forth until it's where it needs to really be at. I want to do something with this right here, so let me get some glue and see if I can't just glue it in a couple spots here where it'll stay there. I'm sure as soon as I get to moving it around here. See? There it goes. If I can leave it off right here again. Fell off again. Alright guys, well, if you got to do this, let me find my light here, I think it's in here. If you got to do this, what the problem I did is once you get that all whipped together, it's too tight. And I didn't know that when I took it apart, just because of the simple fact that whenever I took it apart, it was so wobbly that you could just get by with it, whatever. But the nut that's down there, you can see it barely. With that nut, it will not go on there with it all the way there. So what I had to do is I had to take the bolts back out and push it back. And once I pushed it back far enough, I could put the nut on there and the washers. But it's going to try to spin on you because I don't have the chain. I don't have the chain on there, so that's what I'm going to work with now. Is as far as, like I said, trying to put the chain. See if I can get the chain on there. It's going to be a pain, a little bit of a pain, but it's on the front side up there, and on the back side here. Hopefully we can get it all put in there, and hopefully it shouldn't be too terribly hard to get it back on there. But it's as far back as it will go, so. But make sure that bar. What you gotta do is you gotta make sure this bar is down. Because when this bar is down, when the bar is down like that there, it lets the lock off, so you can spin it. See, if you ain't got that there off, you're not going to be able to get it spun on there. It was a pain to get off her. Even though it is all the way loosened up, it's still going to be pretty much of a pain for you to get it on there. Alright, let me set you over here, and set you over right here, and I'll go get it. Set it right down there. Sit this right here for just a second. I just bought them things, and man, I tell you right now, they worked out tremendously good. You can see all the nasty metal in there. Hopefully we can like I said, we got to drain all this. We're going to drain all this out anyways. You got this plug here, and I believe there's a plug in the back, if I ain't mistaken. Like I said, my dad and them, they used to have one just like it. It was, I think it was 845. I think it was an 1845. I think that's what theirs was. They get one just like it. Grease the hell out of that bearing right there, so when it goes up in there, you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. But it should just slide right on this shaft here. Just like that. Oh, let's see here. These on there. Like I said, that bearing sits right behind there. Is where that bearing sits. Lock nut. Lock nut. Lock nut. I've had this thing for a while. I just never had time to really mess with it. Finally got time to get it in the shop here and get it squared away. And this line here, we're gonna make sure we pump that right there full of grease. We're probably going to at least put about 1 tube of grease in there. Even though we did pack the bearings really good, it's still not a bad idea, just because that tight. Got all that done. This here out of the way. All this here out of my way. All I gotta do now is put the tire on there, and then once I get the tire on there, we can take and we can go ahead and all I got to do on the inside now is put that cover on there, and then once I put the cover on there, okay, these blocks of wood are going to be in my way, so I'm going to wait. It'll be fine. I got them blocks of wood I set there are going to be right in my way, so I can't do that just yet. That'd be just fine. I'm almost certain I said it's got a drain plug. Yeah, it does. It's got a drain plug way back there in the back. So once we get it outside the shop, I'll get it pulled out back there out of the shop. And once I do that there, the machine will be kind of down, and I'll be able to I'll be able to put it down inside there. But all we have to do now is just right down in there where the chain is. I just got to put the Carter key on there, and make sure that when you're doing it, that you'll have to get it tight. You have to get it nice and tight, and it'll pull this into there. So you should be just fine with that, because you're going to have a little bit of play with that out there not being tight, and once you tighten it up, it's going to pull that bearing in there, and it will be nice and tight. Okay, guys, like I said, I gotta drain this. I'm gonna drain this plug here. I bet you more than anything it's plumb full of water. Yeah, that's what I thought. Mainly just all water. Ain't nothing but water. I mean, absolute pure water. Look at that. And that's what I'm going to tell him to run it. I'm going to have him run it for a little while, and once he runs it, because I already know you're not going to get all in there, but I do got some stuff in my truck that's really, really good for getting water out of hydraulic oil, and I'm going to put some of that in there and see if that don't help it out really good, because you're not going to be able to get all of it completely out of there. We'll just let this keep draining and get as much of this out of there as we can. And like I said, I'm gonna tell him to run it for a little bit, and then once it gets it all mixed up, we'll have to drain it. We'll have to drain it a couple times and get it all the way squared away. Because like I said, I guarantee that the other side has got just as much in it as this here does. Alrighty, guys. Well, we got her all done. We took and drained all the water out of both sides. This here was the bearing. There was a little bit of hose in the front bucket here, but he said don't worry about that there. We went ahead and got them two pieces there. That's where you fill the oil in at, is there and there. I mean, that's just where I fill it in at there. And like I said, here's all the work that I did on the front bucket. I put the new pins in there, put all that stuff there, and got it squared away, because like I said, that was the first initial problem that he was having, was the bucket just falling off. And I said, well, that bearing over is really bad. We need to go ahead and fix that. So we went ahead and got all that done, and he should be good to go for a pretty good while now. Like I said, good little solid machine. So like I said, guys, if you are working on a K skid steer, and it's a this is a 1840, you can still get a fair amount of parts for these things here. They still go for a pretty good little bit for them, really. I know that I know these outer housings here that I put on right there when I put the bearings in there, you cannot get that no more. That is part of the frame itself, is what the guy told me. So yeah, another good job, another job done, another happy customer, I'm sure of. Thanks again for watching, guys.